Old Man Winter certainly brought out the big guns this February and put the deep freeze on our roads, but the real estate market, well, there it was a little more chilly than cold. I'm Jed Williams with Hagan Realty, and if you're living or looking in Germantown, there is no better place to keep up with what's going down in real estate than right here. We had updates on only 2 properties in Milestone this month, so it is definitely a quiet month, but it's still a pretty interesting one. So let's get moving. We'll start off with 21310 Purple Aster Court, a 4-bedroom, 3.5 bathroom, 2,800 square foot colonial that they listed as just under 2,600 square feet. It popped up as coming soon on Friday the 13th and went active on the 26th, listed at $835,000. The highest price anyone has tried for here since last July, though still more than $100K below the highest prices from last year. And then we have 12125 Songbird Lane. It's a 5-bedroom, 3.5 bath, 2,500 square foot colonial that listed for $765,000 back in September and had 12. An even dozen, like eggs or apostles or, I don't really know what else comes in a dozen, but price changes shouldn't, even when you're on the market for 140 days. But they did, and eventually they went under contract anyway, at the tail end of January. And they spent the entire month of February that way. So we'll revisit this tale next month. Now let's shift to a wider look at the Germantown market. The headline this month is that prices continued their downward trend. Year-over-year prices turned negative back in October, but they accelerated their decline to 2.1% in February and are now 2.3% from their peak a year ago. I think there's more to go here, but I do see the pace of decline slowing. A bit, anyway. New listings were down, with 10% fewer homes hitting the market this February than last. Contract activity was also down, also by 10% year over year. But what's more concerning to me is that we actually saw fewer contracts in February than we did in January. And that's the first time I've seen that in Germantown in a very, very long time. But it wasn't all bad news. Chilly, not cold. Remember, closings were actually up by only 7%, but still up, and time on market was down. It's still way slower than last year, like 60% slower, but February's 38 days on market in Germantown is still a solid improvement from January's 47 days. And the listing failure rate actually fell into the teens, hitting 16.4%. Now, that's the first time it's been below 20% since last summer. That might have a lot to do with the interest rates. The average 30-year fixed-rate loan actually dropped below the 6% mark at the end of February, just below, at 5.99%. Still, that's the lowest reading for mortgages since the summer of 2022. So while there are certainly some warning signs in these numbers, I think the spring selling season and lower interest rates will help keep the market in a moderate balance for at least the next few months. That said, even in a calm market, who you hire to sell your home matters. While the 16.4% failure rate is much better than it has been, Hagan Realty's failure rate is sitting just under 4% by comparison. And that is just one of many reasons why hiring Hagan Realty is always the best move. So remember, if you or one of your friends or neighbors are looking to buy or sell, give me and my team a call. I'm Jed Williams with Hagan Realty. In Germantown, you'll be moved.